Okay, so imagine this. You've just checked out and boom. Too good. It's too good. So I wanted to see if I could build a custom in-app message on top of AI inside a standard customer engagement platform. In my case, I'm using Braze, but arguably this should work in any platform that's using custom code. Because the initial problem was a lot of these AI tools have like packages and dependencies and all these other bits of code that you're meant to load in that I couldn't put inside Braze. But to next level that, I wanted to see if I could turn the code into single content blocks that were super easy to manipulate. So essentially anyone could come in, change a couple of lines of text, and boom, brand new message. You're probably wondering what's the point of this borderline offensive checkout message anyway, but I figure if you're going to build something, make it fun or ridiculous. They're pretty much the same thing. Okay, so let's dive into this crazy journey. First, coffee. First, to make this work, you're going to need your own OpenAI API key. Now don't get scared off by that. It's pretty easy to get. Just head over to platform.openai.com, sign up with your detail, and then under API keys, click create new secret key. And yes, I've changed mine since making this video, so don't try and steal mine. I'm looking at you, Steve. After I got my API key, I quickly got coding and whipped myself up a modal. Roll montage. I know what you're thinking. That's the dopest modal you've ever seen. But let's be honest, it was the least I could do. Well, I mean, to be really honest, it's literally the least I could do. After adding some of the OpenAI code, which you can get on platform.openai.com, I could start sending what's called a fetch request. But for those of you who don't know what a fetch request is, you don't really need to make this work, but I think of it like throwing a stick for a dog, which is your message going out, and then the dog bringing the stick back. It's essentially fetching the content, which is what it's doing from the AI. You're saying, hey, give me this, and it sends you back an answer. After some testing and I knew all this worked, then I started to put it into Braze. If you're using any other sort of customer engagement or marketing platform and it uses custom code, try putting this in and let me know in the comments whether it works for you. So once I pasted this custom code straight into Braze and realized that it all worked, I noticed it was all a bit messy to work with, which wouldn't be helpful for other people. This is where I had the brainwave. Put all the code into a single content block, then assign a couple of liquid variables so basically anyone can change the prompts and the API key and get it running. So I added 3 liquid assigned variables, one for the API key, check, one for the text prompt, check, and one for the image prompt. And once we add in the content block of code, we only have 4 lines of code inside Braze to have a completely AI-driven, customizable in-app message. Here's an example of some cool things you could do. This thing cracks me up, it's wild. And naturally, you could do some useful things with this too by changing the messaging and the prompts to something that was more relevant to your use case. And I should note, there's a link for all the code in the comments if you want to download that for yourself, and be sure to like and subscribe while you're at it. Now, I must note, I haven't tested this in live production sends. I don't know whether there's delays in this data getting pulled in every time before it sends a message out. And also to note, every time you access the OpenAI API, it's actually charging you for that. Initially, they give you quite a substantial free quota, but after that point, you'll end up paying. Now, it's not going to cost a lot to be doing this testing. I mean, I reckon I've been charged less than the free allowance easily in all my testing. Anyway, feel free to try this out for yourself, even if it's just to have a good laugh, and let me know down in the comments the sort of things that you got out of it.